Hello, everyone. This is Kareem Kanji. Thanks for tuning into the podcast today. Today's episode is actually a repeat. I'm representing to you an episode I recorded 3 years and 3 months ago. Many people have seen and are really excited about Marvel's latest movie that has been out for a few weeks now, Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. It stars Canadian actor Simu Liu. Many of you who know Simu or who have known Simu are familiar with his work on Kim's Convenience, the CBC hit comedy series that recently ended. He played the role of Jung. But many people don't know the backstory of Simu, who he was before Kim's Convenience, and for sure who he was before his role in Shang-Chi. So here's my conversation from July the 11th, 2017, with Marvel superhero Simu Liu. Enjoy.
Hi, my name is Simu Liu. I'm an actor, writer, stuntman, motivational speaker. I try to dabble in as many things as I can. I'm based in Toronto. I split my time between Toronto and LA, and you probably know me from the CBC show Kim's Convenience. I play Jung.
I didn't know you're a motivational speaker.
It's something that I'm kind of throwing out there into the world because I'd like to get that to happen more often.
Oh, okay.
But no, I've had a couple of gigs so far, and obviously the platform that I've been given through Kim's Convenience has been great in kind of serving as the conduit and the gateway to that kind of branch of everything. But I mentioned to you before that I'm a big fan of Gary Vaynerchuk and just how he's able to get you to simultaneously feel so shitty about yourself for not working harder and but also to be so motivated. And I feel like I have kind of one of those life stories that's kind of it's a little bit irregular, and I want to share that with as many people as I can, and in hopes that maybe it might inspire them to give themselves permission to pursue what it is that they really want to pursue.
So have you done any talks yet? Or?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I did. Most recently, I've done a couple of high schools, and I did.
Nice.
I did the Toronto Public Library. They put on kind of a volunteer appreciation event, and so I was actually the headline speaker for that. Yeah. Just kind of, it was a lot of high school aged kids, which is perfect. If I had to choose any age of people to kind of really speak to, it's it's 14 to 18, very impressionable, still have no idea what they want to do with their lives. That's the kind of person that I think needs what I have to say the most, right? Because looking back to when I was 16, 17, if somebody had just told me, dude, be honest with yourself, be honest about what you're passionate about, and don't shy away from that. Don't try to conform to somebody else's idea of what success is. I think I might have made very different decisions in life. Yeah.
Would you have chosen acting?
I think I might have. I think I might have, or at least wanted to dabble in it, because I'd always kind of had the bug for performing. I don't really know what it was, but if I had to guess, it's because I was an only child. My parents worked all the time, so I never really had their attention. I always dreamed of kind of being a performer and people watching me, and I guess it just felt like, for the first time people could see me.
Yeah.
So I was always fascinated by that from a young age. My parents would also, they would drop me off at the movie theater all the time. 8 a.m, they would drop me off, give me $20 and be like, here's enough for a ticket, popcorn, drink.
8 a.m?
8 in the morning. Okay, no. 8 is definitely, I'm so sorry.
But early in the morning.
Early in the morning. We'll say I think 11. The first show would be around 11.
Is this we need to go do stuff, so the movie is your babysitter?
Yeah.
Yeah,
that was exactly what it was. Yeah, some weekends I'd watch 3 or 4 movies, 3 or 4 different movies. Some weekends I just watched the same movie 3 times if there wasn't anything else on. Yeah, they were, and I'm not doing that to throw my parents under the bus. They had to do their best to make ends meet. And obviously, as immigrants, the job security is number one priority.
Yeah. So your parents are from China, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you.
So am I, actually.
And so you're born in China as well. Mm-hmm. How old were you when you came here to Toronto?
I was 5.
5 years old.
5. Yeah.
Okay. And what were your parents doing? What was their profession?
They're both electrical engineers, actually. So they actually, when they gave birth to me in China, they actually they spent some time with me, but they actually went to Canada on their own to go to grad school and kind of get their lives off the ground first. Because I understand from their perspective, it's like they don't want to bring a newborn kid to Canada where they have no idea what anything is going to happen. They didn't
stayed with grandparents.
So I stayed with my grandparents until I was 5. It's not an uncommon.
That's an immigrant story.
Totally. So I mean, it's really interesting though, because I remember like meeting my parents for the first time, which is really right. Like I remember this because I slept in the same room as my grandparents, and I was kind of used to them. And I remember like being really excited to meet my dad, but at the same time, like at night, like they would be like, "Oh, why don't you should sleep in your own room, or you should sleep in a room with your dad just to kind of get used to it." And I couldn't because he felt like such a stranger to me.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so they came to Canada. They studied. They came back to pick you up.
They came back to pick me up.
Yeah.
And then they finished their studies while I was there, and then kind of got their careers off the ground. So
your grandparents, did you see them as, these are my grandparents? Or?
Yeah. Okay. I always knew. I referred to them as my grandpa and my grandma, and they were very forthcoming with where my parents were.
Yeah,
it's really interesting. You kind of accept everything when you're a kid, right? You're like, yeah, okay, my parents are in Canada. They're, they're going to come back and get me. Like, it was fine.
Yeah.
But it's really interesting, though, being faced with that reality, because then you're like, oh my God, I don't know these people. It's great as a fairy tale when they're like, your parents are going to come get you.
Yeah.
But then,
it's almost like a movie.
Yeah. But then when they're actually in front of you and they're like, let's go. I was kind of like really hesitant.
Yeah. I guess like on the weekends when they dropped you off at the movie theaters, they're working on the weekends.
Yeah. They pulled a lot of overtime, and they kept telling me that they were the hardest working people in the company, and I think they took an immense amount of pride in that. It was something that they always tried to instill in me as well, to varying degrees of success. But we'll get into that later.
I can imagine. So you go to school, and like 99% of immigrant parents, you're told you got to be an engineer, a doctor, lawyer, something like that, right?